In this video, we are going to compare the Nord CE4 against the Poco X6 Pro and Nothing Phone 2a to help you decide which phone you should be buying. By the way, if you've already bought any of the three phones, then why are you even watching this video? On a serious note, watch this video till the end to know if you have made the right decision. Let's get started. Starting off with the unboxing experience, point goes to Poco and Nord for getting the basics right. When it comes to design and build, all three phones are fairly large. The Nord CE4 has a 6.7-inch display and weighs around 186 grams. And in this marble looking back, it looks quite good. The Poco X6 Pro has a 6.67-inch display and weighs around 186 grams. And the Phone 2a has a 6.7-inch display and weighs 190 grams. But you also get this glyph interface and the transparent Nothing design. So yeah, all are pretty big and have similar weight, but the Nothing Phone 2a with its unique and clean looking design definitely beats the other two. One thing to note here is that the Poco X6 Pro comes in a vegan leather back option as well. And I would recommend that you go with that one because it doesn't get fingerprints and just look better. By the way, dust gets stuck here, so cleaning this part requires a bit of a work. When it comes to the build quality, the phones are again similar. All three phones come with a plastic frame and a plastic back and have IP54 rating. However, the Nord CE4 comes with twice reinforced Panda Glass protection, while the Poco X6 Pro and the Nothing Phone 2a come with Gorilla Glass 5. So in terms of design and build, I personally like Nothing Phone 2a the most. So point goes to Nothing. Coming to the display, all three phones are very close. The Nord CE4 and the Nothing Phone 2a have nice 6.7-inch Full HD Plus 120Hz displays, 10-bit panels, HDR10 Plus support and 394 ppi pixel density. However, the Poco X6 Pro comes with a 6.67-inch 1.5K 120Hz display with a higher 446 ppi pixel density. Plus, there's a higher 1800 nits peak brightness, HDR10 Plus support, and it's a 10 plus 2-bit panel, which means it runs on 10-bit usually and uses 12 bits when you're watching Dolby Vision content. But we did notice that in regular usage, indoors and outdoors, the Nothing Phone 2a actually gets much brighter than the Poco X6 Pro. But if you watch Netflix, YouTube or HDR content, the Poco X6 Pro display is better. In terms of sound quality, the Poco X6 Pro does come with Dolby Atmos supported stereo speakers, but the sound quality on the Nord CE4 is clearer and richer. Plus, you do get Holo Audio and O-Reality audio support on the Nord CE4. Personally, I prefer the Poco X6 Pro because I watch a lot of HDR content on YouTube and Netflix, and the screen on Poco X6 Pro is the best for that. Plus, the speakers are also quite good even if they are not the best, so point goes to Poco. In terms of performance, the Nord CE4 comes with Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 3.1 storage, and the Phone 2a comes with Dimensity 7200 Pro LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.2 storage. However, the Poco X6 Pro beats them both very easily with the Dimensity 8300 Ultra LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.0 storage. This shows in benchmarks also, where the Poco X6 Pro scores almost double the points than the others, be it in Antutu, Geekbench 6 or 3D Mark. I also tested CPU throttling, and except for the Nothing Phone 2a, which only throttled to 93%, both the Poco and OnePlus phones throttled around 87 to 89%. However, the Poco X6 Pro does heat up more than the other two, sometimes even crossing 40 degrees in our tests. I also played some games on all the phones, and here also the Poco X6 Pro is the winner. It supports Ultra HDR plus HDR on BGMI and even gets 90 FPS with smooth graphics settings, while the Nord CE4 and Nothing Phone 2a could only get 60 FPS max. In COD Mobile, it supports 120 FPS with medium settings and 60 FPS in very high settings. Even in Genshin, the X6 Pro has constant 60 FPS frame rate in highest settings and it wasn't even getting warm. But the Nord CE4 and Nothing Phone 2a were getting around 40 to 44 FPS in highest settings. Okay, so the Nord CE4 is not at all well optimized as of yet. There are UI inconsistencies and the RAM management is not at all good. So yeah, in terms of performance, the Poco X6 Pro absolutely demolishes both the Nothing Phone 2a and Nord CE4. Here are the camera specs of all the phones. And after all the testing that we did, I can simply say that Nothing Phone 2a performs much better in most cases, be it daylight shots of human subjects or even of landscape. The Nothing Phone 2a captures realistic colors and good details. In low light also, the Phone 2a and the Nord CE4 capture good photos, whereas the Poco X6 Pro's low light processing is definitely not up to the mark. The 50 megapixel ultra wide camera on the Nothing Phone 2a also gives it an edge in ultra wide shots, which look really good as compared to the Nord CE4 and the Poco X6 Pro. In terms of videos, all phones support 4K 30fps videos, but the Nothing Phone 2a and the Nord CE4 have better video quality than the Poco X6 Pro. Plus, videos from the Nothing Phone 2a are also the most stable. Now, if you're someone who likes to take a lot of selfies, let me tell you that the Phone 2a's 32 megapixel selfie camera is definitely the best, especially in low light. The Nord CE4 does capture more facial details in good lighting, but the Nothing Phone 2a is still close, and the portrait mode on the Phone 2a is also much better than the CE4 or the Poco X6 Pro. However, I do want to mention that Nothing Phone 2a has received quite a lot of updates since the launch, and that has actually improved its camera performance. On the other hand, the OnePlus Nord CE4 hasn't got any update as of making this video. Having said that, I don't think even after the update, the camera on OnePlus Nord CE4 can actually beat the cameras on Nothing Phone 2a or Poco X6 Pro. So the point goes to Nothing Phone 2a for the best overall camera performance. By the way, we have also added the Google Drive link in the video description so that you can check out the camera samples in full resolution for inner peace. All three phones come with Android 14 out of the box with their own custom skins. You get the Oxygen OS on the Nord CE4, Hyper OS on the X6 Pro, and Nothing OS 2.5 on the Phone 2a. However, in terms of updates, the Nord CE4 will only get 2 OS updates, while the Poco X6 Pro and the Phone 2a will get 3 OS updates. That said, we did a video on the state of Android updates in India. OnePlus and Nothing are very quick in Android updates, while Poco is very slow. In terms of software experience, Hyper OS is smooth, but it comes with a lot of bloatware. You know, pre-installed apps and games. You also get adware like the wallpaper carousel and spammy notifications from the theme store, cat app store, and more. But the Phone 2a and the Nord CE4 offer a clean software experience. The Nord CE4 still has some OnePlus apps installed alongside Netflix, but the Phone 2a doesn't have anything pre-installed other than the Google apps and the Nothing X app. However, Oxygen OS brings a lot more features. You get loads of customization options, full link to Windows support, game mode, file dock, and a lot more. The Phone 2a doesn't have as many features, even though the glyph lighting is definitely a cool thing to have. Still, as far as the software is concerned, I think Nord CE4 takes the win here. The reason I chose Oxygen OS over the Nothing OS is because it is not just clean but also feature-rich. Now, looking at the points table, Poco X6 Pro is definitely leading, but Nord and Nothing are giving each other tough competition. Let's see how it goes from here. When it comes to battery and charging, Nord CE4 has the biggest battery and the fastest charging support. Poco X6 Pro is also not bad, but Nothing Phone 2a is capped at 45-watt charging support and doesn't even bundle a charger in the box. Having said that, all three phones have really good battery life. They can easily last you a day with heavy usage, and with light to medium usage, they can easily last 1.5 days as well. However, because of the 100-watt SuperVOOC charger in the box and 5500 mAh battery, I think OnePlus Nord CE4 is the clear winner. All three phones have Wi-Fi 6 and the Wi-Fi performance is really good. However, while the Nord CE4 and Poco X6 Pro have Bluetooth 5.4 and an IR blaster, the Phone 2a has Bluetooth 5.3 and doesn't even have an IR blaster either. The Poco X6 Pro has 14 5G bands and the Phone 2a has 13 5G bands, but the Nord CE4 has only 7 5G bands. That's weird because phones should have at least 8 basic 5G bands for Indian 5G networks, and the Nord CE4 misses out on the N41 band. But that said, I had no issues with using Jio and Airtel 5G networks and got decent speeds all the time. Overall, Poco X6 Pro is a better option, so point goes to Poco. In terms of pricing, the Nord CE4 starts at 24,999 for the 8/128GB variant. The X6 Pro starts at 25,999 for 8/256, and the Phone 2a starts at 23,999 for the base 8/128GB variant. However, Poco X6 Pro offers the faster LPDDR5X RAM and 256GB of UFS 4.0 storage at ₹1,000 more than the Nord CE4. The Phone 2a is the most affordable, but add a charger to that and it becomes around 27,000, so it's not the most affordable after all. So in terms of value for money or the price to performance ratio, Poco X6 Pro gets the point here. Here are the final points of all the phones. Poco X6 Pro is the clear winner with 5 points, followed by OnePlus Nord CE4 that got 3 points, and the Nothing Phone 2a only managed to get 2 points. But to make things easier for you, here are some pointers that you should know. Now, if you want a phone with the best performance, best display, and really good cameras, but you're okay with HyperOS, you can go with the Poco X6 Pro, as it is the most value for money option in this price range. If you want a clean software experience, really fast charging, but are okay with decent performance and okay-ish cameras, then you can look towards the OnePlus Nord CE4. The Nothing Phone 2a only makes sense if you want clean software experience, good cameras, and are okay with not so powerful processor. Well, that was it from my side. I genuinely hope that this video helped you in making your decision easier. If you have any more questions about any of these phones, you can feel free to ask in comments and we'll answer them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. New iPhone has come, but Poco X6 Pro takes the lead here.